Just a quick reminder that you should always, whenever you're experiencing tough times, you should always look back at the evidence that God has given to you. Now you may ask, what type of an evidence did God give to me?
You've been made wise by so much religion. You always know what to do.
Greetings, beloved of God. Now today I want to give us an encouragement, a short word that is going to be very impactful if you listen but very keenly. Now, most of us have experienced a difficult time in their lives. Now, those difficult times have reasons or they have purposes. Some people usually ask, why does God allow suffering? Now, this is the very thing that you need to understand concerning those bad moments or the sufferings that come into our lives as children of God, is that God has the ability to turn those sufferings into something good. Look at it this way. Someone can take a lemon and turn it into a lemonade. It doesn't matter how bitter it is, but it takes a process for it to be changed into something that is usable and so desirable. So that is the attitude that you need to have as a child of God. Whenever anything that is not desirable comes your way, you should be reminded that God has already given you evidence for His presence in your life. Whenever you're experiencing a tough moment, the enemy wants to erase that evidence, but God has given you evidence. Now, what evidence am I talking about? The very things that God has done in your life are the evidence that I'm talking about. Whatsoever God has done in your life and you can recognize and you can confirm that that is God, that is evidence in your life. That is what you should remind yourself whenever you're going through a tough moment. God has been so good to you. We can all agree, as a child of God, you have experienced the goodness of God, the things that God has done in your life that are very good, that you need to keep on reminding yourself. Now, I heard a preacher say this, that whenever God does one thing in your life, you should use that very thing to thank God until He does the next thing. Now, that was amazing. That means that we should always stay in the place of thanksgiving as we keep on waiting for God to do that which we expect Him to do, or that we are believing Him to do. So the place that we need to be in as children of God is the place of thanksgiving. So whenever you're expecting God to do something in your life, thank Him first for what He has already done. Now, the scripture tells us in the book of Philippians, it says that with thanksgiving, with prayer and thanksgiving, make or let your requests known unto God. So why should you accompany your requests with thanksgiving? It means that whenever you place a petition, look at it in the scenario of a courtroom. Whenever you present a request, there has to be an accompaniment of the evidence that backs it up. Now, what evidence is that? Is what God has already done in your life in the past. So keep reminding yourself of those things, and you're going to be in the place of thanksgiving most of the times in your life. But if you keep forgetting them, then let me remind you that you're responsible for the things, or for not receiving what you're expected to receive. It is now not an issue of God, but it is an issue of forgetfulness. That is why God would rebuke the children of Israel for forgetting where God has taken them from. Why? Because they are responsible. I am also responsible for what? For me being reminded, or for reminding myself of the things that God has done in my life. And so do you, beloved and child of God. So this is my last take. This is the last thing that I want you to grasp and I want you to understand, that God has given you everything that it takes for you to get, or for you to arrive at your next breakthrough. So shalom and God bless you.